Imagine if the dinosaurs had not disappeared. Imagine waking up in 2026 and hearing on the morning news that a herd of giant hadrosaurs is delaying traffic outside Paris, while wildlife authorities in Canada are tracking a rogue tyrannosaur that has wandered too close to a mining town. Imagine a world where dinosaurs never disappeared and where humanity evolved alongside them. Human civilization would have begun very differently. During the first centuries AD, great empires such as Rome, Han China, and the Parthians would have been forced to share the land with creatures far larger and more dangerous than any animal we know today. Roads would avoid migration routes, farms would require massive defenses, and cities would be surrounded by walls designed not only to stop invaders but also to keep out predators. Small dinosaur species might have been domesticated for hunting, transport, and agriculture, while larger herbivores would have been both a resource and a constant challenge. Between the 5th and 10th centuries, as kingdoms rose and fell, vast regions abandoned by humans would quickly return to dinosaur territory. Forests would swallow old roads, and giant herbivores would roam across lands once controlled by empires. Knowledge about dinosaurs would become essential for survival. Monasteries, scholars, and rulers would keep detailed records of migration patterns and behavior. A king's power might depend as much on controlling dangerous wildlife as on commanding armies. From the 11th to the 15th century, population growth would push humanity into increasing conflict with dinosaur habitats. Castles would become stronger, villages more fortified, and trade routes carefully protected. Explorers crossing unknown territories would face not only weather and disease, but predators capable of killing entire groups. Dinosaurs would appear in myths, religions, and legends everywhere. Some cultures would worship them as symbols of ancient power, while others would see them as living reminders of nature's dominance over mankind. The scientific revolution from the 16th to the 18th century would transform our understanding of these creatures. Scholars would study their anatomy, behavior, and reproduction centuries before modern biology emerged in our timeline. Living dinosaurs would provide overwhelming evidence for evolution and adaptation. Natural history would become one of the most important sciences on Earth. At the same time, governments would begin creating protected reserves, realizing that uncontrolled hunting and expanding populations threatened species that had existed for millions of years. The Industrial Revolution of the 19th century would mark a turning point. Railways, factories, and machines would finally allow humanity to challenge the natural barriers that had limited expansion for centuries. Yet industrial growth would create a new problem: habitat destruction. For the first time, dinosaurs might face extinction not from an asteroid, but from human activity. Conservation movements would emerge much earlier and much more urgently than in our world. During the 20th century, technology would reshape the balance of power. Cars, airplanes, firearms, satellites, and modern medicine would reduce many of the dangers dinosaurs once posed. They would no longer dominate civilization, but they would remain an important part of it. National parks containing living sauropods and tyrannosaurs would become global tourist attractions. Films, books, and television would turn dinosaurs into cultural icons. By 2026, humanity and dinosaurs would coexist in a carefully managed relationship. Advanced tracking systems would monitor migrations. Some species would be domesticated, others protected, and the most dangerous kept within vast reserves. Cities would be designed with wildlife corridors, and environmental science would be one of the world's most important fields. Would this world be better than ours? In terms of safety, comfort, and economic growth, probably not. Human development would have been slower, and many regions would remain difficult to inhabit. Countless lives would have been lost throughout history to creatures far more dangerous than modern wildlife. However, humanity might also have gained something valuable. Living beside dinosaurs for thousands of years would have taught us humility. We would likely respect ecosystems more deeply and understand that humans are not the only powerful force on Earth. So, in the end, dinosaurs surviving would probably not make life easier, but it might make humanity wiser. And perhaps that wisdom would be worth almost as much as all the progress we sacrificed along the way.